Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm echoing. Hold on a second. There we go. Sorry about that. I don't know if you heard the echo or not, but I certainly did. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's live. Today is July 1st. Crazy, crazy. I am Christine Jesse of Nail Something Pretty, and I come live every Tuesday or almost every Tuesday at the same time, which is 2 o'clock Eastern. Hi, Kim. And then so we do kind of like a live class. So today I didn't even realize I have a sunflower shirt on and I'm working with sunflowers. I'm just looking on the screen. It's kind of cool. Hi, Cindy. So we have this fun. This is brand new. Oh, you can even see it. Brand new sunflower embossing folder that is part of the online exclusives launch today. So every other month, Stampin' Up comes up with a new product line. Um, under the umbrella of online exclusives. So every other month there's new products being launched. So today marks the first day of that. So this is one of them, which is very popular with demonstrators because we were able to pre-order it. And I know it's very popular with customers because I had someone who called me early this morning to get it before it sold up, and it's not sold up, but she wanted to be sure she got it. Hello, Kay. You're new to me. Welcome. Um, Thanks for joining in. And yes, we're going to work with sunflowers. And I was just writing in my description that it's not quite sunflower season yet for growing them, but pretty soon that they'll be blooming next month, at least around here. The sunflowers will bloom. I do not have luck growing sunflowers. I try every year, but my chipmunks eat them when they're like this big. They like to eat them. And I always say they taste like chocolate to them because they eat them. So I don't have a whole lot growing sunflowers, but oh well. Hi, Debbie. Thanks for joining in. And Nancy, we have a lot of people joining live today, which is awesome because it's the summer day. So let me go over to my desk here, and let me show you. So actually, I'm going to show you the cards plus one more. I showed you in my email this morning, and we're going to make these, but in a different color because I want to show you that it doesn't have to be a sunflower, or it can be, but a different color sunflower. So this is, kind of a basic one. Basic does not mean boring. I think it's very striking and I like it. I like the white background with the embossed. You can see it there. And then I stamped a sunflower, and that we're going to use the same stamp. And that's from You Are Remarkable. This is new to me. I don't know when it came out. I think it's relatively new. And I think it's in the online exclusive section. I have to admit, I wish, and I'm going to write to step it up. We'll see if they listen or not. I wished in the listing on the online store, when you look up a product, I wish it would list if it's in the paper catalog or if it's available only online, just so I know where it comes from. So what I can tell you where to find it. But anyways, this is the stamp set that I'm going to use. Because I think it pairs really well with the sunflower embossing folder. And then I just used a little of the gingham paper because it's just kind of happy and sweet. And then on each of these cards, I added one of those little bees, and they're tiny, called tiny bee trinkets, and they're still available. They're actually on low inventory at the moment, but they are still available. And they're tiny, but I think that works perfect proportion wise to this flower. So that's one. This one doesn't involve any coloring. I'm going to show you 3 different ways of coloring an embossing folder. So this is one of them. Again, same card, pretty much. Just I use colors, but I also added some white ink to this one. And so I'm looking on the screen, it looks a little blotchy, but in person it doesn't look blotchy. So hopefully it's coming across. I only have a small snippet of the screen that I can see. This one I think is kind of funky and artsy. And so I just used some of the words from the same stamp set rather than the sunflower, but you could certainly use the sunflower. I think this one's kind of cool. So I'll show you that way. So that's one, that's two. And this is a third way of showing you the color. And it's a little, I'll show you, it's putting ink to paper, but it comes out a little differently. It's a different, you'll see. You'll see. And then this is actually the same technique. This one I did it on Daffodil Delight paper, and this one I did it on white paper. So it's kind of the same but different look. And then this one is actually the same technique as this one that I'll show you, but look at, isn't that really dynamic? So I used early espresso ink on this one, but I still mounted it on black paper. And I think it's really good. So that's what we're gonna do today. So let me put these aside here. We won't make this one because that's just kind of a basic one. But I'm gonna show you the inking purposes. And we're not gonna do yellow, which, some flowers are yellow, but some flowers are actually different colors. So that's what we're gonna do. So I just brought so I wouldn't run out of paper. I just brought up my whole PAX paper. So let's see, what do we need? We need a color in white. All right. Didn't even prep, I think, is that? Oh, that's too big. Your white. We need color. So I'm going to make pink sunflowers, or we could even turn them into zinnias, because zinnias and sunflowers kind of have a similar look. So this totally could be a zinnia flower. It could be a black-eyed Susan. It could be a daisy. So I think it's kind of a cool, you can kind of turn it to whatever you want it to be. All right, let's just cut these because now I forget what I was gonna do. I'm just gonna cut a single layer. So it's just the 4 by 5 1/4 on all of them. So this was kind of cut as a card, but we're just gonna now turn it into a layer. And we'll cut the bases for our cards afterwards. We'll see what we're gonna do. So these are all gonna be cut 4 to 5 1/4. I'll just cut 2 of these because I can't remember if I wanted to use 1 or 2 of this. This is the strawberry slush. Excuse me, and the same thing on this one. This is Flirty Flamingo, because we're going to put a darker ink. Maybe we'll do both, and you can see the difference. We're going to use strawberry slush ink. And I don't know if you saw me turn it around. This had a score line because it was a card base, and that's why I flipped it. All right, and then we have the white. Okay, I think that's all we have to cut at the moment. So now we have to emboss. So this is, you can kind of see how big it is. I mean, compared to my hand, it's huge. So I think it's, let's see. Oh, that one doesn't have a ruler on it. I can't tell you. It's 6 inches. 6 by 8.5. So it's pretty big. So what that means is you can kind of pick and choose. It's this different sunflower. I'm trying to get it without that glare. There's different, like there's a whole sunflower here. There's another whole one here. There's a partial. There's like one that has like a side view opened up. So if you wanted that view or that, it's kind of cool because you can move them all around depending on what part of the sunflower you want to focus on. So we are just going to, let's just kind of right now, we'll do this one in the center. We'll just play around with it. They all look good, so there's no wrong way of doing it. I'm going to use my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and it's a 3D. I didn't write it on here. Usually I write 3D. I don't have a marker. I will do that later, but you can even see I write 3D on my gray plate. So I just remember, but that's what I use that gray plate for. So we just need the thick platform. Then we're just going to put that down, and then we'll use this. So no other plates. So we're just going to actually just real quick, we're going to emboss all of these. And that way they're all done. I'll kind of do them in different sections of the embossing folder so you can see how you get different looks to it. So there's many other things that were launched today too. There was, I think I mentioned in my email, there was some Halloween, and I showed that last week. One of them, there's actually two different bundles. And I showed one of them last week, and I'll be using that a whole lot more because I think it's really I think they're calling it like sweet and spooky because it's not scary. It's a cute scary. There's some Christmas, there's a few different Christmas things. And I know a bunch of you on here know this already. I'm gonna actually go this one this way. We're still gonna do it in this direction, but just to show you, you don't have to emboss it that way. My good friend Ann Lewis, who's a demonstrator in Australia, we do a joint live every month. We get together and we do a joint class, kind of like this. And so we are doing this Thursday, which is the 3rd of July. We are doing Christmas in July. And so we'll see. I will be honest, and I have not made my project yet. And so we'll be surprised to everybody. And I know Anna's in the same boat. She has also not made her project yet. So it'll be kind of fun to see what we come up with. And we don't share with each other what we make until we go live. So you see it at the exact same time as we see it. So it's just kind of fun. All right. So let's see. It's actually in order I have to do this. So I'm going to do this kind of dramatic one first. Actually, no. We'll do that middle. We'll do this one because it'll give actually a minute to dry because we're going to use white ink. So we'll use this dark pink. So they all have, there you go. You can just see it's really nice, deep embossing. It's just beautiful, straight on its own. We're going to use, and this is really old ink pad, stamp pad, but they still have white. It still works, and it's old, doesn't matter because they sell re-inkers to it as well. And it's a foam pad, which means it's wet. It's like a pigment ink. It's like almost like paint. And I just keep these 2 sponges in this plastic bag so that it doesn't really get on anything else, but it means I also don't have to wash them off. So these are designated, this sponge and this sponge is designated for my white ink. I just thought of something, but we'll see how it works out later. It has nothing to do with this one card, but all right. So what I'm going to do is just put some ink on my sponge dauber. Just going to daub it in, and then just find where you want to add white. And so it's going to come off dark first, and then it's going to fade a little lighter. So looking my sunflower leaves here, some of them will have white. And I found with the one I did, I actually went back after it dried a little bit and I added more white to make some of it darker. Make some of the leaves dark. I think it's easier to put the white on the raised part versus like if you wanted it on the background. But if you wanted it on the background, just flip it over. And now the background is raised and the sunflower is recessed because it looks good in that direction. That direction doesn't matter. All right. So I think this would look really cool on black paper, which I just haven't done it yet. But can you imagine like this, the difference between the black and the white, kind of like, the contrast would be kind of like that. So I think, again, it looks, I'm looking at my screen. Hopefully it doesn't look splotchy on your screen. Oh, I can also kind of highlight those little dots. So now you can see the dots a little bit better. And if you want it a little darker, then just go back over because it will dry. Again, this is like paint, so it's a little wet and it will dry lighter. So just go back and add more. Just want these to be kind of dark. All right. Okay. Oops, that got really dark. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'll keep going. So that is one way of applying ink. So we're just going to set that aside for a moment. We'll let it dry and then we'll kind of build our cards up. This is really what I want to show you. This is very cool. We'll do it on, we're going to do it on both pinks. So strawberry slush and flirty flamingo, but we're going to use strawberry slush ink. I suggest having scrap paper because it's going to get messy. So what we're going to do this is how we emboss it. So the sunflower is raised. We're gonna flip it over. So we want that background that's raised. I'm gonna flip both of them over. And you'll see what's gonna happen. I'm going to, I just put my more white on like the top and the bottom, and I just turned this in this direction because I think it's easier because we're gonna swipe it. And that way I can swipe both sides. So I have my strawberry slush, and we're just gonna swipe the ink pad down. Now this is a pretty new ink pad, so it's pretty wet. Turn it around, and we're gonna swipe the other half. And I kind of missed that middle, so I'm just gonna go back. And you can kind of go back a little bit. You don't see that line in the middle. And you get this really cool, some of it will dry. Hopefully we won't see that line. Isn't that awesome? I just think it's so cool. So we're gonna do it on, this is the Flirty Flamingo, so it's a lighter pink. So I did a kind of 3 swipes. And then if you want to kind of go in this direction, and that maybe that will get rid of our, would be all pink. So what it does is the background is what's raised, so that's what's catching it, and then the some of the raised parts of the sunflower would catch it too. So I just think it's really cool. So that, what I was going to show you is re-inking, because it does use a fair amount of ink. This is a new one, so I really don't have to re-ink it. Plus, my re-inker is not here. That's what I was looking around for. But I know I have videos on re-inking. But what I do is, if this was a re-inker, pretend, I would just drop a whole bunch of, I don't know, 20 drops or whatever. And then I take an old gift card, an expired gift card, but you can use a ruler, and then you just actually do this. You just kind of rub it, and so the ink will go down and spread. And that's how I would re-ink it. All right. So these are wet, so we're gonna actually let those dry a little bit too. And I didn't get too pink. And then the third way, right? So this is one we're adding white ink. This we added the ink pad to the reverse. And then the other way is, and this is why I saved this one for last, because we're going to put ink on our embossing folder. So when you put in, you've probably seen this before. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Cindy. When you see the embossing folders, usually we use the top up. So, you know, with the Stampin' Up! Logo and the line, that's usually the part that we put in, and that's usually the part we use. So when you want to put ink to the embossing folder, you want to actually put it on the part that has that black logo, just because that's where all the grooves are, and that's where you want to get your ink. So I'm going to use that same color, Strawberry Slush. And this is pretty big, so I wouldn't have to ink the whole thing, but I just will because it'll be easier. So I'm just putting ink directly on my embossing folder. Now I could have used a brayer. So if I had a brayer, I would just put it in here and then put it on the embossing folder. But it's fine just to put the ink on, especially because this is a new ink pad, so I know it's pretty wet. All right, so the ink is on the side that has the black logo. Oh, I don't want this one because that already is embossed. Where'd my white piece go? Oh, I embossed it. That's okay. We'll just cut another piece of white. That's why I brought up my whole. Is this the right size? Yep, that's the right size. Okay, good. I don't even have to cut it. So we're going to put this down on, we'll just put it right here. So once it's down, it's kind of down. Close it. And then use our machine and put this through. So what this does is, you know, it's going to make the impression. It's going to smush the paper and make the impression, but it's also going to apply that ink that was on the embossing folder. So you get a slightly different look, which I think is, again, I think it's kind of artsy and I really like it. So this, what I would do, and this is why I did this one last, I would just go to the kitchen sink and run this under water. It's water-based ink, so I'll just run off and then I just let it air dry. And it's good to go. So I'm gonna just leave it closed for right now because, again, I'm trying not to get pink ink on me. So now we have our 3. I can still see that line, so let's use this one. But you can see the difference between the paper. So one's a little dark, one's a little lighter. So that was the 3 ways we colored using our embossing folder. So now we can just kind of put together our cards. So I already cut, I'm just gonna really, let's see if we can put this all up here so you can see. I'm just gonna copy exactly, yeah, you can see what I did with these cards. That way we can kind of compare the 2 cards with the pink, okay? So my sunflower, or we'll see if it's a sunflower zinnia, is I cut 2 1/4 by 3 1/8. You could do 3 1/4 if you wanted. It would just take up a little bit more of the top and the bottom. So I wanted you to be able to see more of that embossed sunflower. That's the size that I used. So we are going to stamp 1, 2, well, we'll stamp 3. We'll stamp 3, and then we'll see if we use words on that one or not. We'll see how that goes. So I'm going to, and I do have the words here, so maybe I'll do the exact same like I said, which means I have to cut this one to the right width. 2 3/4. Just cut this quick. All right. So we'll do them exactly the same. So that's extra in case we need it. Okay. So I'm using Memento Black, really not for any reason, because it doesn't matter what color black we use because we're not coloring. I think I just grabbed it because it was on top. I keep my Memento and my stays on, like stacked on top of each other. So that came out nice. Let's see if we can do it again. No, I'm going to do a 3rd one just in case we need it after we do the coloring on the inside. Kay says these are nice and bright and cherry. Yes, they are. I love bright color. I love the bright colors. And let's see. Nancy likes them too. Oh, good. I'm glad you all like them. Not my idea on that swipe. I had seen someone else had done it. And I'm sorry, I don't remember. I was just looking at a picture, so I don't know whose it was. Okay, so now we actually just use this so I can see better. All right, so this is what's the 2-step stamp. So it fills in. So there's a greenery piece, and then there's a flower piece, and there's also the inner piece. So we're going to use, I brought up 2 greens. Let's try the lighter green first. And let's see how we like that. And then if we want it darker, we'll just go darker. So you have to kind of get your head over it. So sorry if you see my head. Okay. Because I put them on the diagonal too. So there is that kind of swoosh of the right here. That's kind of what I was lining up. And then you kind of pay attention. Once that's kind of lined up, you can kind of see where the petals fall. So you get that. So let's do it again. I think that is a good green. We'll just stick with it. This is the lemon lime twist. I did have a couple that didn't line up when I was doing the samples at first. Oh, see, look at that one didn't line up as good because that leaves out. So that's where I did an extra one. And that would be okay. It's not horrible. Let's see. So you find that center line, and then you just look at like one leaf on opposite sides. Oh, that went the other way, but that's this is fine. We'll go with it. Okay, and now these ones is easier. The sunflowers. So what I want to do though, where'd my ink go? Since this one we're not going to use, let's see if it's going to be too dark. Oh, it's not too dark. Okay. I wasn't sure if that was going to be too dark or not. And you can kind of see that there's variation in there too. It's not just like a solid, which is kind of nice. So I wasn't sure if I was going to stamp off on it, which you could get lighter, but that's pretty light. So we'll go with that one. So that was good that I had that scrap. Right. Just going to look through to find where the petals line up. That one's a much easier one to line up. Okay. Yeah, okay. I was just thinking, we're doing the words on this one. So, we'll have to decide what color we're going to save that one because I don't know what color we're going to stamp the words. And then for the little in between piece, I use pecan pie, but I did stamp off because let me find that piece again. Didn't want it too dark. It looks like a jelly bean. Totally. See how that's a little dark. Now you can still kind of see the black ink through it, but if you stamp off, it's a little bit lighter, and I think it's just a little softer, and I kind of like that better for this card. Some other ones I might like it darker. Totally looks like a jelly bean. So there you go. All right, that's done. That's done. And then for the words, I liked how I used the mossy meadow, and I liked how it was dark on this one. And I'm thinking we should do different. You know what? Let's just do black. Oh, you know what would look really good? Navy blue or the secret sea. All right. I don't have secret sea down here. And I'm looking to see. I have my old inks under the table. Let's see. Navy blue. Secret sea would look really nice. But I think navy blue will do it. Yeah. Because pink and blue just look so good together. Yeah. See? That's a little bit better than black. And then we'll find, I have my stack of, oh, I have to put the new, oh, I do have the new colors here. This is the, yeah. So what I did, this is that new secret sea. I stamped in the navy blue. You can see they're pretty close. We'll use this when we put that card together. Okay. So we need card bases. So I did a different color with this one. I did the darker green. And so let's see. Like, that's bright. Or Here's the other green I brought up. Or did I not bring up pink? I must. I did. I'm just not sure if I like, that's just pretty dramatic. All right, so let's hold on this one. This one we were gonna do tone on tone, like this one. So there we go. So that will go that one. Let's just cut that. Again, when I cut paper for a card base, I usually will kind of score first and cut, and that gives me 2 bases. And then I usually just put it in the sleeve, but then it's ready for the next time. But we'll see if we use it or not. So this, oh, forgot this one this way. I could see my line right there, and that's why I swapped it. So now we won't see the line. And what I also did on this one is I trimmed a little bit on the top and the bottom, just so I don't really want to trim the top anymore, just so I get a little border on either side. I wonder if I did it. I just want you to see more of the sunflower. This one you don't see a whole lot. So I put the thank you there. I guess that's fine. I'm just trying to hide that line. Okay, so I'm just going to use glue. Hopefully. Oh, I think it's going to come out with a big splotch. I'm in trouble because this is the only glue I have up here. There it goes. I knew there was going to be a. That's so much more glue than I usually use, but it was clogged. I'm just trying to smooth it around. Put it right on there. All right, and I usually that's all right. When I do a landscape direction card, I usually cut it so it goes this way because I like how they open up this way. I wasn't thinking when I cut the paper. So it's just going to open up this way. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no one right way or the other. This is just a personal choice. All right, so this is going to go right on here. And it's a pretty long stamp for this direction. So that's another reason why I don't have like a color bordered under it. I actually kind of like how it's kind of striking. And then we'll stamp a thank you. I have these already cut. I'm gonna do it with black. And I gave a little room here for that cute little bee. So I'll do the same thing. And that was just cut with the stylish shapes. That kind of a simple card, but there's it's a little dramatic with the ink. I'm gonna have to put some more dimensionals up here because I'm almost out of them. All right, that will go right there. And then I'll just hopefully add just a tiny little, yep, good. Put my cover on. Get that tiny little bee. Oops, it's gonna have it go in this direction. All right, so there's one card. And that is exactly the same as the yellow card. So they look different, but done exactly the same way. So you don't have to do your sunflowers just yellow. You could even make it a blue sunflower if you wanted. Okay, so that is that. So now I have to make a decision on this one, which I don't know if I want those two. It's almost too bright. So what if I did white? Mm. Hmm. I'm just trying to think what other colors I have. Ooh, how about that? Let's do that. This is the new Timid Tiger. Let's do that. Happen to have. Let's try that. I think this will work because it almost actually, even though we did brown pecan in the inside, it kind of has that same tone. I just think the greens, which I love, it's just too bright for this. The contrast with that pink. All right, this is a nice orange because it's not too bright. It's not too. Sometimes oranges have browns in them or too yellow. It's a nice tone. And this will also get just glued straight down. And the reason why I did that versus putting dimensionals on it, it's because it's kind of it's just white, right? It's kind of thinner, and I thought it needed to be secured down. And then we'll add that B. We'll just put it in the same spot. Now there is actually a B in this set that I really like, but I think my paper needed to be just a little bit wider. I'll show it to you. That B in there. Again, simple little card, but with that little B really brings it up. So those are those two cards. And then the last one, where did it go? Where did it go? It's the artsy one. Where is it? It's the white background. Here it is. Oh, I like this. I love this color. All right, okay, we'll do our score first. And then I'll cut. I will take pictures of each of these. Maybe I'll even put them like side by side so you can see the two different colors next to each other. And post them on Facebook. I will also upload this. You can watch the replay here on YouTube, or you can watch the replay once I uploaded it to Facebook. All right. I will add, because this is such a dark color, I will add white to the inside later. You guys don't need to do that. But. Okay. Where did I know I stamped the word? Oh, here they are. Okay. So we need, let's see. I did a little opposite. I wasn't thinking because I use this as a base, which I like. Too late. Oh, it's not too late. Let's add a little more glue just in case. I meant to do the outline in blue. Although I liked that on the blue, and so I'll save that. I'll let it dry, and then I'll use that base for another card. All right, so we need to cut. What size do we need to cut? 1 7/8 by 2 7/8. So now we're just going to cut this one that I just made a border. 1 7/8 by 2 7/8. And I thought the skinny border worked kind of well on it because I really want that background, this to shine. Yep. A little skinny on one side, but okay. And then this one I did pop up. I hope you guys have fun 4th plans. We have nothing going on. My husband works the 4th of July every year, and so we used to when the kids were little. We used to always go down to Cape Cod because my aunt lives down there. But then they got older, and it was harder. My daughter's actually working on the 4th as well, so I might just take a relaxing day and sit outside, take a walk, and then sit outside in my garden. Let me know if you guys have some fun 4th plans. Just adding this little bee. Okay, there we go. So you can see that this green border is slightly wider. I might go back. It's too late to fix that now, but I might go back and fix it. But that's me being persnickety. So there we go. So those are the two of that. We inked the embossing folder. We put the ink on the embossing folder and put the white paper in, and that did that. So let me show you all of them together. They're fun. I like it a lot. And you can do this technique with almost any embossing folder. The 3D ones work really well because you have all those deep grooves to kind of pick up all the ink. But as long as there's one that has, I think, magnolia flowers, that would look really sharp. I'm trying to think, like the fern one. I don't think they sell that one anymore, but that would look really cool. What other one? Some that have, some kind of cool. I mean, you could do stripes or some of like the repetition ones, but I think the ones that have these kind of interesting textures would look really good. So, so there we go. So those are our cards for today. I love them in the yellow. I love them in the pink. And you can imagine, do different colors and try. Like I'm even just do a Google search of sunflowers and you'll see that they come up with different colors. But I know that like there's the deep pink ones. I actually grew them one year. The chipmunks didn't eat them. There's purple sunflowers, all different colors sunflowers. And so you can kind of play with your inks too. Like if you wanted different colors, rather than inking it, you could ink like different colors that don't muddy each other, like yellow and orange. And so you get a little ombre or something. You can kind of experiment that way. That would look cool. All right. Debbie has no big plans for the 4th, just like me. Oh, you're gonna get a storm. Oh, I like that. Mother Nature will have her own fireworks. That's a good way of thinking of it. So, oops, stuck that to my elbow. So I wish everybody happy 4th if you do nothing, or if you do something fun, or something in between nothing and fun. I will be around. So if you have questions, feel free to email me. So let's see. So recap. So we did the sunflower embossing folder, and so that is a new product as of today, July 1st, as well as many other products. So definitely go over to the Stampin' Up store. You can click different ways of getting there, stampinup.com or mailsomethingpretty.com/shop. That will bring you to my kind of section of the store. And there's in the menu item, you can do like what's new, or you could scroll down to online exclusives. You can kind of get new stuff either way. You're very welcome. Okay, thanks for coming and watching. I come live just about every Tuesday at the same time, whatever your time frame, your time zone is. It's 2 o'clock Eastern, my time zone, so you can kind of calculate the math that way. And then don't forget, I'll send an email out too, but Ann and I go live on Thursday night. So Eastern is 8 p.m. Eastern. And so again, calculate your time zone. And that's always fun. So I love to stamp with Ann live online, but in person. Sometimes we do get together in person, which is really cool. And I know that you guys and those who watch really have fun with it. So that's fun. So thank you, everyone. I'm glad good, Nancy gave you a new technique to try. So yeah, so go ahead, try it out. And then I have the Very Important Paper Crafters Facebook group, and that's where you can post pictures of your own designs. My page, it's harder for you to post pictures, but on the Very Important Paper Crafters, you can post photos of what you make. And I know Mary Lou and Kim do that a lot, but we want more people to post more pictures. We want to see what everyone else is making. So I think that's kind of what I had for you today. Thank you. Happy 4th. But for those of you, hopefully I'll see you on the 3rd with Anne. And have a great day. Bye.